Hello again and welcome back to another one. And today we have a story about something awkward that went down between Eminem's daughter Hailie and a fan. And oddly enough, the fan in question also shared details about this meeting on TikTok. And we'll get to more on this in a bit. We also have more from the NFL linked to Eminem that sparked some interesting reactions, as we hear it all the time, even from associates turned haters about Eminem's music.
When have you ever heard an Eminem song in the club? When have you ever heard in the locker room? I don't hear Eminem in the streets.
And fans have reacted accordingly. More on this in a bit. Today we also have news about rapper PNB Rock, who passed a few hours ago, and rappers and fans have been paying tribute to the star, and Nicki Minaj went off on social media a few hours ago that sparked some controversy. So first of all, check this out from Spotify. For the week ending September 8th, Nicki Minaj tops the list with her compilation album Queen Radio, and Eminem occupies 2 spots in the top 10 with Curtain Call 2 and the 2-decade-old The Eminem Show. Moving on to the next point, clips surfaced on social media that showed the Lions walk out to a mix of Eminem songs.
Everything you ever wanted.
When have you ever heard an Eminem song in the club? When have you ever heard in the locker room? I don't hear Eminem in the streets.
And this post sparked some interesting reactions. This is for all the haters saying they don't hear his stuff being played anywhere, laughing my bum off. 64,000 fans attended the game that opened with Eminem songs, and more was on the way directed at the likes of Gabe, who recently performed in front of a few dozen people when he dissed 50 Cent. A user states, in quotes, "They don't play Eminem in the clubs or in the hood. No, they play his music directly in stadiums as a starter for the game when the team comes in brackets, yesterday, Ford Field Stadium, Detroit, for the Lions." Even at the last Euros, Eminem's music was played constantly, especially during penalties, and even in the final when Italy beat England on penalties. Moving on, Hailie recently shared a story on the Just a Little Shady podcast that made its way to Twitter. The user states, "Fans, stop being weird when you run into Hailie in public challenge."
So I was walking back to my seat, and this girl just yells in my face, "You look just like your dad." And I didn't know if I should say thank you or f you. And I honestly have never had an experience like that. There was no hi, hello, are you Hailie, are you, just, "You look just like your dad." And I was like, okay, got a blast, and just went back to my seat. But I think that might have been the most action of that night, which also reminds me because last weekend we watched the VMAs, and like the biggest thing that came out of that was Taylor Swift announcing her album, and all the Swifties went wild.
And under the user adds, not the most exciting thing about the VMAs not being her father's performance, score emoji, I blame the apes. But there was more to the story. A user states, "To be frank, the girl apologized on TikTok, and she said she blurted that out because she was nervous, because she's been following her IG and her podcast. She seemed embarrassed and like someone who actually follows her content, but Hailie can't get away from the awkwardness ever, lol." And over on TikTok, apparently the fan in question already spoke about this awkward moment days before Hailie shared the story. "I'm sorry for being awkward. Hopefully I get a chance to meet you again at Hailie."
Put a finger down if you're a huge wrestling fan and you were at SmackDown in Detroit last night and your brother-in-law and husband go get something to drink, and your brother-in-law comes rushing back to the seats and tells me to go to my husband because Eminem's daughter Hailie is there, and he knows I'm a huge fan of her here on TikTok and Instagram and just started watching her podcast, Just a Little Shady, and your husband wants to be respectful and not approach her because she's with her boyfriend. So I go rushing there to go see if it really is her, and I notice she's walking straight towards me. I had no time to gather my thoughts, so I go up to her like an idiot and tell her, "Hey, you look just like your father." And she responds, "What?" And looking at me like I'm a creep. And instead of gathering my thoughts and talking to her like a normal person, I repeat myself and say, "You look just like your dad." And she looked at me blank-faced, and it was an awkward silence. And then her entire crew laughs at me because I literally approached in the most awkward way ever. And you missed the opportunity to get a picture with Hailie. And now you can't or forever embarrassed of the situation.
Moving on, rapper PNB Rock passed a few hours ago, and many rappers and fans have sent prayers to him and his family. King Crooked, for instance, his last 4 words: "Don't even know what to say, man. This ish is sad, sad. RIP PNB Rock, dove of peace emoji." But on the other end, rappers like Nicki Minaj had plenty to get off her chest. In a series of tweets, she states, "After Pop Smoke, there's no way we as rappers or our loved ones are still posting locations to our whereabouts to show waffles and some fried chicken. It was such a pleasure to work with. Condolences to his mom and family. This makes me feel so sick, Jesus." This sparked a bit of controversy because PNB Rock's girl reportedly posted his location minutes before the incident. And a few days ago, in an interview with AK, PNB spoke about how his girlfriend in a previous robbery attempt didn't understand the seriousness of the situation. So following Nicki's tweet, some believe she's supporting those blaming the girlfriend. But Nicki had more to add in response to this. Nipsey outside of his own shop, X a car dealership, Lil TJ outside of Chipotle, Pop Smoke in the Hollywood Hills, Dolph at a cookie shop, PNB Rock inside a Waffle House. Rappers are not safe from jealousy wherever they go. The situation is out of control and heartbreaking to see. She responded, "The people around these rappers gain so much, it's time to start really reminding them over and over. At least try to put your foot down if you care. Tell them, you're not loved like you think you are. You're prey in a world full of predators. What's not clicking?" She added, "Yup, I'ma say what I want. As a rapper and as a mother, I know firsthand how these guys feel coming from the streets than being able to provide for their moms. My heart is hurting for the mothers of these kids that try to make something better of their lives. Let's educate ASAP." She continued, perhaps in response to those telling her that this is not the right time. "It's never the wrong time. If it saves one young rapper, just one, then we've done our jobs. I spoke on losing our own at the VMAs. Enough is enough, my God. I don't give a F about no freaking hate tweets. Go F y'all dumb freaking selves." And she continued, "Y'all are not the ones that be bawling, crying after you just worked with or just spoke to one of your own. I belong to this ish. I'ma freaking speak on it. If it gets attention from y'all being ignorant, then so be it. At least it'll save lives. F out of here." Speaking on rappers posting locations, many agree with Nicki's take regardless, famous or not. Never post your location on social media if you are still there. And speaking on the location thing, another adds, PNB Rock's girl posting their location was definitely dumb-ish, like really freaking stupid. But also, dudes could've, not try to rob him and not shot him. This ish whack. That will be all for today. Share your thoughts below. Thanks for watching and see you on the next one.